Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I think we can start with the presentation. So welcome at the presentation of the two-year graduate degree in Food Innovation and Management. My name is Donatella Saccone. I am professor of economics at the University of Gastronomic Sciences, and I'm the coordinator of the graduate program in Food Innovation and Management. The aim of this presentation is to give you some information about the structure of the course and the main objectives. And since you are a few here, I think we can go through the presentation and then leave room for your potential questions. So, in order to present the program, I will start from the title that is meaningful to understand what are the objectives of the program itself, because the program is not only about food management, but also about food innovation. This means that if we want to synthesize the main three objectives of the course, we can individuate three main pillars: analytical knowledge, creativity, and management. Analytical knowledge, because first of all, the program aims at providing students with a series of advanced tools that allow the quantitative and qualitative analysis not only of markets, but also of the social geopolitical context where food professionals operate. And this is useful to understand which are the main challenges and the main problems that there are in food systems. Then the second keyword is creativity, because the program aims at disseminating the UNISC expertise in the field of food studies in order to stimulate and feed the creative process and to individuate innovative solutions to the problems individuated through the quantitative and qualitative analysis. And finally, management, because the program also provides advanced communication skills and management skills for the food sector. This is true not only for the management skills necessary in the private sector, but also for the management skills that can be applied to the institutional sector. Here I reported the structure of the program that consists of 10 required and common courses plus 2 elective courses that students can choose within 2 thematic focuses that I will present, for a total of 120 credits. Generally, the attendance is mandatory and the whole course is taught in English. That means that not only classes are in English, but all the related teaching activities, the exams, and the teaching materials. For next academic year, the starting date is September 2021. If you had a look at the website, probably you already checked the list of the single courses, but I would like to give you some information also in this context. So in this slide, I reported the courses that are taught in the first semester of the second year. They are mainly the courses related to the skills about analytical analysis and qualitative and quantitative analysis. So they are economics and development policy that I teach, management for food business, advanced data analysis, that basically is statistics and econometrics, and finally human ecology and gastronomic heritage. And in the first semester of the first year, there's also the first study trip, where there are also a series of activities that prepare students for the study trip, and that allow students to re-elaborate what they learned during the study trips. Then in the second semester of the first year, there are 3 courses: Sociology of Consumer Culture and Behavior Analysis, Advanced Food and Trade Law, and Food Science and Technology. Probably you noticed that the courses in the second semester are less than the courses in the first semester, but there's a precise reason for that. And it is because the second semester is employed also not only for courses but also for a fundamental activities that students have to carry out. That is the activity of field project. Field projects are applied projects that are carried out by students in groups of small students for meeting a series of objectives that are agreed with and proposed by companies and institutions. It's not a simulation, it's a concrete project that companies and institutions propose to students in order to work on specific objectives. So it's a fundamental activity because it's the first time students have the possibility to implement in the field the acquired knowledge. And then again, the second semester, there is the second study trip. Moving to the second year, we have courses concentrated in the first semester, and we will see why. So the courses, the common courses are 3 and are mainly based on the cultural aspects related to food systems, and they are critical gastronomy and languages of taste, systemic design for circular economy, a very hot and contemporary topic, and then history of food cultures. Then students have the possibility to choose between two proposed thematic focuses. Why these thematic focuses? Because as I already told you, since the beginning, the course has, let's say, a double soul, where on the one hand we give skills, analytical, managerial skills related to the private sector, and on the other hand we also deal with a series of issues related to policies and the institutional sector. And usually we have a consistent part of the class interested in working in private sector, and an analogously consistent part of the class interested in working in the institutional sector. So that at the second year of the program, we ask students to specialize, and usually we suggest the first focus, social and cultural innovation for food systems, to those students more interested in the institutional sector. And we suggest the second focus, entrepreneurship food business, to students mainly interested in working in private sector. Not necessarily, I mean, sometimes students more oriented toward the institutional sector select the second focus and vice versa, but I mean, we give this possibility to specialize. And finally, the second semester of the second year is entirely dedicated to the internship and to the final thesis. The internship usually lasts between 4 and 6 months. So for a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 6 months. And in order to choose the appropriate internship, students are followed supported since the beginning by our Career Center, who provides support to students in cultivating their soft skills since the first year, and also to understand which professional profile they would like to acquire. And then also when it's time to choose the internship, the Career Center supports day by day students in order to find the appropriate internship. In this slide, I reported the main points of strength of the program. We already saw some of them as the strong link with the scientific and applied research activities of the university, as the study trips and as the field projects and the internship. I would like to add some words about, first of all, the teaching method, because we adopt an advanced interactive teaching method where we have usually classes divided in the first part that is more traditional in a face-to-face setting where a professor teaches a series of new concepts, and the second part where students are asked to apply the acquired knowledge to concrete case studies, often working in groups. And then we also offer a series of workshops and conferences with representatives of the private sector and of the institutional sector. And moreover, since the beginning, the students are involved in the UNISG institutional and industrial network. Besides these points of strength, there are two elements that deeply characterize our program. First of all, the attention to the internationality. What I mean with internationality? Since the beginning, we pay attention to international issues, not only because the course is taught in English, and of course in the class we have students coming from different parts of the world, but also because we discuss food systems, and food systems are characterized by a series of global characteristics and global challenges that to be addressed and discussed need to adopt a global approach. And then, I mean, the spirit through which we deal with these issues is an international spirit, a global spirit. The second characteristic, the second element of the program has to do with the great attention paid on the issue of sustainability. First of all, because operating in food systems means to have an impact on sustainability. Either you like or not, either you know, you are aware or not, when you operate choices in the food sector, you are having an impact on sustainability. And then our aim is to explain what is sustainability in food systems, and also how actions of food professionals can impact on sustainability. And the second reason why we pay attention on this issue is because, of course, as you know, both the private sector and institutions are paying more and more attention on the issue of sustainability, and then the private sector and institutions are increasingly oriented to deal with this issue. And then, I mean, in all the courses included in the program, there's a part addressing the issue of sustainability. Regarding the labor market opportunities that our graduates have, I would like to distinguish between employment sectors and roles. And you see that there is a large heterogeneity in terms of the employment sectors and also in terms of the roles that our graduates can have. Regarding employment sectors, I reported, first of all, the sectors related to the private sector, such as food companies, distribution and specialized large-scale retail, wine, spirits, food and packaging, strategic consulting, and specialized finance. And then I also reported the institutional sectors like national and international organizations, non-governmental organizations, communication marketing agencies, research and education institutions, and foundations. And regarding the roles, also in this case, we have different roles that our graduates are performing. Like research, development, innovation, marketing and communication, strategic analysis, planning and management, sales and purchasing, production, design and innovation. If we compare the percentage of students who found work within a year after graduation with the national average, we find that the value is quite positive, because more than 90% of our graduates found a work after within a year after the graduation. This does not mean that the remaining 8.6% did not find any work, because a part of students decide to continue with their education by attending a master, 1-year master, or a PhD, and then a PhD program. And then, I mean, it does not mean that there is a part that remain unemployment. This is true both for the UNISC percentage and for the national average. Now I'm going to give you a series of administrative issues related to the admission process. First of all, the online pre-enrollment is allowed between February 1st and July 23. And to be eligible, Italian candidates must meet the admission requirements. For foreign candidates, we usually analyze the CV and the academic history, and then we decide if they are coherent to their requirements. We admit a maximum of 50 students per year, and the admission process includes a 3-step evaluation for a maximum of 100 points. First of all, we ask candidates to send their CV, their qualifications, and to fill a motivational test where we ask students, of course, to explain what are the reasons why they would like to apply. Then there's a written test online, and while the motivational test is evaluated out of 40 points, the written test online is evaluated out of 30 points. And finally, an online interview that usually is with me and one of my colleagues for a maximum of 30 points. So when we sum, of course, the points obtained in the 3 stages, in the 3 steps, we obtain, of course, the total score that is out of 100. There are 2 rounds of admissions. First of all, the first round has the deadline at May 21st, with the admission list that is published 1 week after. And the second round has the deadline at July 23, with the final list of admission published 1 week later. There is a difference between the 2 rounds, because people who ask for admission in the first round has the advantage of being automatically admitted in case they obtain a score equal or higher than 80. Otherwise, they will be placed on the final admission list. That is, if you demand for the admission during the first round, the advantage is that if you obtain a score equal or greater than 80, you'll know about your certain admission at the end of May, so in advance with respect candidates of the second round. In general, in both rounds, candidates with a score lower than 60 points are not admitted at all. Here, I reported a series of administrative information. For additional details, you should ask to the administrative office. I will give you the email address of the person of reference. But just to give you an idea, here you see the annual fees for the academic year 2021-2022. And you see that the fee is lower in the second year simply because students spend less time in the campus and then the costs are lower. And the fees include all the educational activities such as lectures, tastings, and seminars, all the textbooks, the participation in all the events promoted by the university and by Slow Food, like cheese, like Terra Madre, and like the Salone del Gusto. For non-European students, private insurance policy covering urgent health care, the access to the career office services and to the placement of the career office services, as I already mentioned, and finally, all the certificates and transcripts that are necessary before and after the graduation. There are also possibilities regarding partial and total exemption. In particular, there is one partial exemption equal to 5,000 euros for each year of study, and one total exemption that is reserved to non-European candidates. Moreover, students coming from the bachelor degree of the UNISC of the University of Gastronomic Sciences will have a fee reduction. All the income and merit requirements necessary for applying for the exemption are specified on the university website, and in any case you can ask additional information to the administrative office. And Italian students also have the possibility to request loans at advantageous terms from Banca Intesa San Paolo and Banca Sella. So I will stop with the presentation, and I leave the floor to you in case there are questions. You can ask questions either by raising your hand and then speaking orally, and by directly writing through the chat. I will also add information about another important service that the university offers that was not mentioned in the slides, that is the mentoring service, because each student since the beginning, so since the first year, has assigned with a mentor who's a professor following the student in his or her academic career and supporting him or her in case the students need some advices should they have any problems. Are there questions? Okay, in any case, I will remain at your full disposal. Should you need some additional information or some advices. Yeah, there's a question from Daniel who's asking, does this tutoring start from the first 3 years, only these two? If I'm well interpreting your question, Daniel, the mentoring, both the mentoring, the academic mentoring, and the professional mentoring by the Career Center start at the first semester of the first year. So students, since the beginning, since the first semester of the first year, are supported by the mentor and by the career office for the professional issues. I want to share with you the email address of the person in charge of the admission demands and applications for the graduate program. So her name is Elena Fogliotti. And you can write to her using this email address that I just shared through the chat. In case you have doubts or you need clarifications regarding the scientific, not the administrative, but the scientific, the academic part, you can write me, of course, an email, and my email is d.saccone@unisc.it. Okay. So I remain at your disposal for some additional minutes in case you have more specific or individual questions. And in any case, I thank you for the participation. And as I told you, don't hesitate to write me in case it can be useful for you. So thank you for the attention and have a good evening.